Hello, my dear students. How are you? I hope all of you are safe at your home. Now you have been promoted to class 10, so congratulations to all. Dear children, today we'll start study English language and literature. Here you have 3 books. The name of the first book is First Flight. It consists 11 chapters of prose and 11 chapters of poetry. The name of the second book is Footprints Without Feet. There are 10 chapters in it. And the third book is Words and Expressions. That's a workbook and that's for your grammar practice. So, the very first chapter of the book is A Letter to God, written by G.L. Fuentes. He is a Mexican writer, poet, and journalist as well. The characters in the story are Lencho, a farmer, Lencho's wife, his children, postmaster, and post office employees. This story represents a Spanish country. The title of the chapter is A Letter to God. Letter is a very common word, and we write letters obviously. We write letter to our relatives, to our friends, but have you ever listened that someone has written a letter to God? I think no. Yes, this is the thing which has been shown in the chapter. A person writes a letter to God, and this happens just due to the firm faith in God. He is an innocent and naive person. He has deep faith in God. He thinks that God definitely will help him. So, in this chapter, deep faith, firm faith of a person has been shown. In the beginning of the chapter, one activity has been shown, one activity has been given. You can see it here. One of the cheapest ways to send money to someone is through the post office. Have you ever sent or received money in this way? Here's what you have to do. Few points have been given here. You can see it. Inside the post office, go to the counter marked money order. Buy a money order form by paying 50 paise to the person behind the counter. Fill in the appropriate boxes in the form, preferably in block letters. Pay the counter clerk the amount of money to be sent along with the charges. Take back the money order acknowledgement counterfoil for a record. Children, here's the word counterfoil, and the meaning of this word is the part of a check or receipt that is kept as a record. My dear children, now you can see a form here on the screen. This is a form, money order form. You can fill it and you can do its practice. That's how it is filled. Here comes the explanation. The house, the only one in the entire valley, sat on the crest of a low hill. From this height, one could see the river and the field of ripe corn dotted with the flowers that always promised a good harvest. The only thing the earth needed was a downpour or at least a shower. Throughout the morning, Lencho, who knew his fields intimately, had done nothing else but see the sky towards the northeast. So the writer says that Lencho was a farmer and his house was situated on the peak of a low hill. It was the only house in the valley. From this height, river and crops could be seen easily. His fields needed rain, and from morning to evening, Lencho kept on seeing towards the sky in the hope of rain. Means to say, he used to expect rain daily. The second para. Now, we are really going to get some water, woman. The woman who was preparing supper replied, Yes, God willing. The older boys were working in the field while the smaller ones were playing near the house until the woman called to them all, Come for dinner. It was during the meal that, just as Lencho had predicted, big drops of rain began to fall. In the northeast, huge mountains of clouds could be seen approaching. The air was fresh and sweet. The man went out for no other reason than to have the pleasure of feeling the rain on his body. And when he returned, he exclaimed, These aren't raindrops falling from the sky. They are new coins. The big drops are 10-cent pieces and the little ones are fives. So, in the second para, the writer says, uh, calling his wife woman, Lencho told her about his expectations of rain. She was preparing dinner. She called her sons for dinner. During the dinner, it started raining. There were clouds in the sky and a fresh and sweet wind was blowing. Lencho didn't want to miss this scene. So he went out to feel the rain. He went outside. He considers those raindrops as new coins. He compared the big drops with 10-cent pieces and the little ones with 5-cent pieces. With a satisfied expression, he regarded the field of ripe corn with its flowers draped in a curtain of rain. But suddenly a strong wind began to blow, and along with the rain, very large hailstones began to fall. These truly did resemble new silver coins. The boys, exposing themselves to the rain, ran out to collect the frozen pearls. Suddenly, a strong wind began to blow and hailstones began to fall. These were looking like new silver coins. His sons started to collect those frozen pearls. They became excited. Frozen pearls mean hailstone. It's really getting bad now, exclaimed the man. I hope it passes quickly. It did not pass quickly. For an hour, the hail rained on the house, the garden, the hillside, the cornfield, on the whole valley. The field was white, as if covered with salt. Suddenly, a strong wind began to blow. Now Lenjo became worried because it was not going to stop soon. The house, the field, the hillside, all covered with hills. His all planning were going to fail because everything was depended on the crop. Not a leaf remained on the trees. The corn was totally destroyed. The flowers were gone from the plants. Lenjo's soul was filled with sadness. When the storm had passed, he stood in the middle of the field and said to his sons, A plague of locusts would have left more than this. The hail has left nothing. This year will have no corn. That night was a sorrowful one. All our work will for nothing. There is no one who can help us. We'll all go hungry this year. Even a single leaf was not there on the trees. No flower was there on the plants. Lencho's crop was totally destroyed. Nothing was left there. Lencho said, an attack of locust leaves more than this. This has left nothing. Now he was in trouble and much worried about his family, his expenses, and food.